We've got some history to discuss in this news video today involving teams around the Ontario Hockey League. But before we get to that, some history has been made today. We talked about it already here on the channel how the OHL has signed an agreement with the GOJHL to become its development league. And with those plans in place, the league has announced that they're changing their name. They will now be known as the Greater Ontario Hockey League. So they're dropping the J in their name. It's gonna be a little confusing to get used to it. I've been following the GOJHL for quite some time. Even in my days in college, we would go to the Welland Junior Canadians games and cover it for Niagara College. So it's yeah, it's this is going to take a while to get used to, but they're saying that this is a way to show that their partnership is serious with the Ontario Hockey League. That's according to Greg Spada, the commissioner of the GOHL. It's I think it's kind of silly changing the name. It's a very minor change, but it's going to trip up some people, I think, for a little bit here. But it is the first of its kind for the OHL having a development league such as this, and it came out of necessity with the whole situation involving the NCAA and how CHL players can now go that route. So I think this is a good move for the leagues to have this development. The name change, it's just going to trip people up for a little bit until we get used to it. But still, wanted to mention that here on the channel. So you're not caught off guard when you see GOHL. It's the old GOJHL. Let's move on. Like I said, it's going to take a while to get used to. Other milestones, the Canadian Hockey League. It turns 50 this year, and they've unveiled a new 50th anniversary logo. And they're going to lean into it. They're going to be, for the next few months, up until December, is my understanding. They're going to have articles and highlights just to feature the history of the Canadian Hockey League, feature the alumni who've gone through the junior hockey ranks, which I think is great. I love seeing the old footage from the past, maybe Memorial Cups or different achievements and milestones and highlights. So the CHL will be doing this for the next few months, like I said, up until December. They already had a teaser video that they released on their social media feeds highlighting some of the alumni who've come through the ranks, such as Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Marc-Andre Fleury, Milan Lucic, the list goes on. So it is really cool to see that the OHL, or the CHL rather, celebrating their 50th anniversary, and we'll see what they have in store next. So it's really cool to see, and I'm really curious as to what they're going to be doing with some of these features, especially with the highlights. That's the best part, looking back at some of the old looks that junior teams had, and even hearing some of the old broadcasters who used to call the games throughout the CHL's history with the Memorial Cup. So stay tuned for that. The Kitchener Rangers, they are one of the more historic teams in the Ontario Hockey League, and they've announced a new level of legacy. I think this is a real cool touch. So it's a new initiative designed to immortalize the most impactful figures in team history. And when I saw this, I was like, well, where do you start? There's so much history with the Kitchener Rangers, and I think they nailed it. They did a great job with who they're honoring first. Pete DeBoer, he's going to be enshrined with a ceremony on November 7th. And of course, Pete DeBoer, the most successful GM and coach in Kitchener Rangers history, winning OHL championships in 2003 and 2008, and then winning the 2003 Memorial Cup. So there's going to be banners and plaques put up at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium to honor this new level of legacy. And Pete DeBoer will be the first. And then Brian Bellows, he'll be enshrined January 9th. So these are the two that will be in first. And for Brian Bellows, he was the captain of the Kitchener Rangers' first Memorial Cup champions back in 1982. And Brian Bellows is a name that if you're a fan of the Rangers, you're well familiar with. A lot of fans I've met that were able to watch the Rangers in the 80s really brought up Brian Bellows and those teams and just how strong they were. So those are the first two players who will be enshrined. There's going to be a committee to decide in the future who else will be joining DeBoer and Bellows, but it'd be kind of neat if more teams kind of leaned into their history a little bit like this, especially if they've got the history. You might as well lean into it. Now, another team leaning into their history, the Guelph Storm. They've unveiled the Legends of the Storm exhibit. The Guelph Storm playing in their 25th year at the Sleeman Centre since it opened. And in section 101, they're going to have a area that looks back at the history of junior hockey in Guelph. So primarily the Guelph Storm, who have been in existence since the early 1990s, but they're also going to feature history involving the Guelph Platers and the Bitmore Mad Hatters. So they're going back in the history, just highlighting key players who've played junior hockey in the city of Guelph. And really, when you look into it, Guelph has an amazing junior hockey history. They also have the claim that they're the ones that started the hat trick, the tradition of throwing hats on the ice with the Bitmore Mad Hatters. So it's going to be really cool to see. Like I said, section 101 at the Sleeman Centre is where you can find this. And I think this is a great touch. And just like the Rangers, I think more teams should be leaning into their history. The Barrie Colts also do it a real cool thing where they have the banners in the Sadlin Arena with all the stats. So the team leader in points, goals, the top defenseman for points. They also have regular season stat records. So hopefully this is a sign that we're going to see more OHL clubs just embracing the history and showing it. I think teams should be proud of what they've accomplished during their time in the Ontario Hockey League and to celebrate those players who've gone on to have amazing National Hockey League careers because they were the players that have really set the bar for these OHL clubs and set the standard. So Guelph, I think this is really cool. I can't wait to go to the Sleeman Centre and hopefully check out this Legends of the Storm exhibit that they're going to have in place. This weekend, the Oshawa Generals, another team looking to promote their history, they're going to be retiring the jersey of former captain Terry O'Reilly. That's going to take place on Sunday. So his number 17 will be raised to the rafters. Oshawa, another team with so much history. He's going to be joining a great list of numbers in the rafters at the Tributes Community Center. The last number was Dave Andrechuk. So he was the last one, and now it's going to be O'Reilly. For O'Reilly, he played with the Generals from 1967 to 1971 before having a great NHL career at the Boston Bruins. And it's going to be a fun time at the Tributes Community Center honoring the number 17 of O'Reilly. And it's, if you ever get a chance to go to a game in Oshawa, it's so cool just to look at the banners and the greats who have played with Oshawa. That's another team, just so much history, and it's great to see it on full display. Now, a team that's looking to make their own history are the Brantford Bulldogs. We talked about it this week, how construction officially underway on the new arena in Sudbury. Well, in Brantford, they're looking to take that next step for their brand new facility. They have 3 dates coming up where the public can actually ask questions and go over the plans for the new arena for Brantford. The first meeting will be on October 1st at the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. That's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. So they're going to have the renderings and the plans and the designs for the brand new arena. The other dates are October 8th and October 16th. And then all the input that they gather at these sessions will then go off to City Council, who still has to give final approval for this plan. There's been some renderings, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful facility. They're building it right next to the current TD Civic Center. Still getting used to the new name. But the Brantford Bulldogs excited for this new home. Of course, they already signed that 15-year lease agreement to play in this new facility. There have been some articles popping up recently, or at least on social media, because I have some friends in Brantford who have been sharing these articles with me that there's some people who are not too pleased about this project. They feel as though this money could be better spent on other areas of the city to fix the roads, to build a new hospital. But for the city of Brantford, they're wanting to keep the Bulldogs. This is a big boost for the downtown core. They want to redevelop downtown Brantford, and they feel that it kind of starts with this arena. So I know there's a lot of politics involved. We talked about that in a video recently with the Peterborough Petes and their situation. But for Brantford, they do have these input sessions coming up. And then after that, we should get an official update as to when shovels will be on the ground for this new arena. And we'll see what comes from there. Now, there have been rumblings about a trade potentially happening between the Kingston Frontenacs and the Sarnia Sting. I'm not seeing anything official as of yet, so I'll keep following that. I'm just refreshing some of my feeds here and just sent a couple messages out, waiting to see if there's confirmation. So I'm not going to say too much about it, but if you are a fan of the Sarnia Sting or the Kingston Frontenacs, it sounds like there could be a player moving to the Western Conference, but we just need confirmation as to what this trade all entails. And if it does come through, expect a video here on the channel to break it down and yeah, talk about what this means for both teams. Because remember, the Sarnia Sting still looking for their first win. They didn't get any victories in the preseason. They're 0-2 to start the regular season. It seems as though they might be looking to add a player to either shake things up a bit here or get the offense going somehow. So that's what it sounds like. There could be a trade happening. Expect that to be announced sooner rather than later. I was kind of hoping maybe it would be announced when I'm recording this video, but with my luck, I'll post this video to the channel and then the trade will be announced. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on any of these news items. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you again soon.